Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another World of Tanks console edition video. Today we're having a look at the KANONENJAGDPANZER, very rare tank that's been on sale for the first time over the last week or so. It's available in a very expensive bundle, one of their sort of let's try and keep it rare bundles, where it's bundled with stuff you don't really want. So it's bundled with the hammer, which you can get for free, and a bunch of other crap. I bought it so we could check it out and do a video, and it's pretty underwhelming, really. It's not that great. We'll have a quick look at it, and I'll show you some gameplay. But let's have a look at the stats first before we jump in too much. So it's pretty much like the comparison that everyone does is the E25. It's a bit like a slightly bigger E25 in terms of shape, maneuverability, camo. It's got a decent rate of fire. It's not the same crazy rate of fire, low damage like you get on the E25, but it's a reasonable rate of fire, 9.52 rounds per minute. You can see there. Good camo rating. I think that I was checking screenshots. It's hard to get the exact numbers for console edition, but going by their little bar, you can see there that says camouflage high. That was slightly less than the E25 and slightly more than the ELC AMX. So it's in that kind of area. It is a good camo rating. But the problem is this thing doesn't get preferential matchmaking, so because you see so many tier 9s and tier 10s, the camo rating is kind of less effective because they've got bigger view ranges. I find I get spotted a lot more easily than I do in my E25. Admittedly, I don't have a really good TD crew on PS4 at the moment. On my Xbox account, I've got all these disgusting crews with like 8 or 9 skills. So I can really focus on camo for those tiny TDs. Can't do that with this. I've only got this crappy crew in it. But yeah, it's been pretty underwhelming. The gun doesn't... I mean, the DPM is nice, but the pen is low. We'll pull up the packages. There we go. 212 pen. Doesn't really cut it very well at tier 10, even against a lot of tier 9s. Aim time's not bad. Accuracy's not bad. I find the accuracy at long range can be pretty effective sometimes. But yeah, it feels like, I don't know, there's nothing really I feel like this thing specializes in. It's low profile, which is nice. It's quick, which is nice. It's got an okay gun. But it's just, it's not really a master of anything. I think I'd rather be driving an E25, even tier down. I'd rather be driving the Tiger Hammer. I've probably been making more money on average in the Tiger Hammer, which is a lower tier than this, just because it's a vehicle that's a lot easier to do better. And this thing... don't know, it's not really done it for me. Let's have a look at what we're running here. We got 10 prems, 36 normal, 5 HE, nothing very exciting. And over here we've got camo, GLD and binocs, because we're trying to take advantage of the camo, and if we get spotted, we're kind of boned, really. I've managed to have a few okay games, but like really like 2.5, 3.5k damage is kind of as much I've managed to do so far. I haven't done a huge amount of games, to be fair, which said something about how fun it is to drive. There we go. I've done 23 games. The Hammer I've done 36 in. The Kanonen I've only done a handful in, really. But we'll jump in. We'll have a little look at some gameplay, and you guys can make your own minds up. So here we are on Muravanka in the Canon. And we have an okay round. It's I guess it's one of the more interesting ones I've had. I was hoping to get something like epic damage, but it didn't really happen. I'm going to put some more games in this, but I'm not sure how many. It just not super fun to play, you know. If it was a little bit smaller maybe, so it could hide a tiny bit better, and that'd help it a lot. And like I said, if you got a beast crew on it, that would also help you out no end. So we've moved up here. I thought we'd get some longer lines of sight. Didn't feel like it'd be very sensible going into the woods. Thought we could try and use some of these bushes and pick off a few early shots. So just trying to find a shot on the Panther. Realise I'm going to push a little bit too far forward there, so we just shuffle back a bit. Try and keep things in check. If you get spotted in this thing, you're not going to have a good time. It is quick, so you can get away from trouble nice and quickly, but if they hit you, they're going to pen you. The armor is absolutely terrible. Even really worse so than the E25. Which is saying something, really. I think it has, what have we got, 30 mil of hull armor. 30 on the sides, 8 on the rear, and it's not very well angled either. So people are gonna pen you pretty well. You might bounce the occasional shot, but it's not very likely. Let's face it. So getting spotted there, we are pretty close to them here, so I would expect it to get spotted, even especially with the crew that I have on. We'll go for a shot on the 229. There we go, 225. Damage to tracks, but we get spotted and we have to remove ourselves from that situation. And the thing about this is you really have to be at such long range to not get spotted and be able to actually use that DPM, because the only way you're going to unleash that fairly respectable DPM is if you don't get spotted when you fire, and most of the time I'm getting spotted when I fire. But there I have only played 20 odd games, so pretty inexperienced in this tank, still got a lot to learn. Maybe I'll get better and I'll change my tune, but yeah, certainly not. It's not doing it for me at the moment. Much prefer my E25 and my Jagdtiger 88, even though the Jagdtiger 8 is slow as hell. I'd much rather be driving that right now. So still just the one damage ribbon. Our team has sent no one at all over to the Magic Forest on the east side, so bit of an unlucky one to go in the tracks, the T34 there. Thankfully not getting spotted by this guy now, I think because we've got this tree in the way as well, which is kind of helping us out. Although we're not having a huge amount of luck with doing damage to him. There we go. Managed a little bit. So it feels like a pretty good spot to stay at the moment. We've got a lot of tanks over here. They're going to be, whoever's come down the east side for them, presumably someone has, they'll be coming around that way, but they'll hopefully get spotted out before they spot me, so I can kind of spin round. There we go, another nice shot into the T34. They'll hopefully get spotted before I get spotted. I can just kind of rotate round a bit and put some fire onto those guys and try and defend the cap. But it's pretty even on the teams at the moment. It's a bit of a stalemate. We've got a lot of tanks in this bit, which is normally you wouldn't want to have so many tanks in one area, but it's not on the end of the world on this map because it's quite a nice bit of terrain to defend. There's a lot of undulations and hills and bushes and various parts of hard cover. Go for the T29, aim in as much as we dare, but didn't want to sit there any longer, or I could have eaten a shot from that T34 wherever he is. And we've now got a medium spotted over on the right hand side, who is out of range at the moment though. So the aim time is good, but I didn't want to sit there and aim all the way in. Sometimes you've got to take those risks, you know. I'd rather miss that shot and not get hit than hit it and get hit for 500 health. There we go, we've got a super Pershing over there, I believe. Just trying to see if he's going to creep into range. I'm actually lining it up on the using the radar down the bottom here, using the mini-map, and decide just to fire a shot anyway. Didn't have much hope of that going in, but we thought we'd give it a go. There's the T-34 again. Fire a quick snapshot and get out of there. Not quite in time, sadly. The T-34 smashes me for a very significant amount of health, and I have to use my repair kit to repair my gun. But we got a few damage ribbons, team's pretty even, and we got a few assists as well from some of the tracking shots we made earlier. T-34 takes one of our tanks out. That's T-29. So now I'm pretty much, we've got me, there's this Borsig who's back in the bushes near the cap. We're the guys who are going to be spotting them out across the field for the time being, so I need to be a little bit more careful. Oh, that was cautious and careful, said at the same time. Yeah, I need to be a bit more cautious. So I've turned myself around, get the binocs on, get behind a bush. We'll go into plan B. We're going to spot out these guys, because I don't want to get hit in the side by them. There's plenty of my tanks to watch the middle. And I don't really want to trade shots with those heavies too much longer. You can get some nice shots. Of course, where that KV4 is, sometimes you can shoot all the way over there pretty nicely from here, but I'm more concerned with these guys. These are the bigger risks to me at the moment. There's the E4. Hit his tracks. Go for more sensible weak spot. There we go. I think that would be someone else hit him at the same time there, because that is definitely way more damage than this gun can do. There we go. That's a more usual sort of roll. And go for one more on the top, but miss it. But there we go. We got him down to nicely to half health. I'm not sure who else hit him. It couldn't have been the Borsig, because that would have been way more damage than that, unless he's firing HE or something. It might have been that light tank, I guess. What's the light tank? Have a look, Ben. No, doesn't fancy it. So still even on the scoreboards. We've got quite a nice amount of shots away so far, but because of the slightly underwhelming damage per shot, it's not actually a huge total really yet. Like I said, even though it's got a nice... The DPM is, what, nearly 2,400 base, something like that, which is pretty respectable, but you just... Unless you're in a super incredible camoed position from a long way away or with a great crew and you just don't get spotted, it's very, very hard for you to really use that DPM, because every time you get spotted, you're going to have to back off, you're going to have to get unspotted and then come back up and shoot again once that sixth sense has dropped. So just trying to find a shot on this Freedom here, who's driving crazily through the middle. There we go, get one at him and track him nicely, but we have a big hit from the KV4 there, and that's the thing. As soon as you get spotted in this tank, you're going to have a bad time. Unless you're going at full speed, laying it away. But you can see, look, one of the nice things about having a tank with such low profile like this is you can do things like that, which does, even though he still manages to connect, we were at least able to back off enough to not show too much of ourselves to the enemy. But we have now been left on 77 health, which isn't going to be too great. And we've got two tanks. We've got a mutant pushing around here who's on full health, and he's got his buddy with him as well. So we'll spin around and have a little look at this KV4. I mean, I like this replay because it made this area a lot easier to play thanks to the low profile of this tank. If you're in a taller tank shuffling around here, it'd be a lot easier to eat shots from various different angles, but because it's a low profile tank, it's got this nice quick rotation speed and maneuverability, I can sort of keep shuffling around and switching the flanks that I'm looking. Seem to be very indecisive at the moment, trying to work out what to go for. Feel a bit scuppered here because it's there's not too many options. It feels like we've got to get rid of this guy. Got to hope that mutant doesn't sort of rush around the corner. If he does, he could probably get killed by all our firepower at the moment, but he would also kill me because I'm a very tempting, softly armoured target in a new, rare, expensive tank. They're going to go for you. We're hitting the EIS. Don't know what happened to that shot. Ridiculous one there. But we do pick up some spotting on the Pershing. But, ooh, there's a T-29 over there. I'm going to have to spin around and shoot at him. There's a KV4 over there. Things are starting to look pretty hairy right now. There we go, there's the T-29 in the open. Managed to land one on him. Nice, easy target. But the IS takes us down. So we did quite a nice amount of damage. I'll just spin on to the end of that one. Oh yeah, there you go. So this one ends in a draw. The goes down all the way down to the Borsig with about 30 seconds to go. So the Borsig just runs off and hides, and it's a draw. So, you know, fair play. He wasn't going to kill all 5 of the enemy. So there we go. We got 3,400 damage. Nothing crazy, but okay. We got 100 grand, probably with a bit of an op there to help out. No op. So we made 100 grand silver from a relatively small amount of damage and a bit of assisted, so it's not a bad money maker, but I don't know, make your own mind up from seeing the gameplay really. 25 shots fired, 21 hits, 14 pens. We had what, seven non-penning shots. Pretty frustrating. The accuracy wasn't bad, but the ratio of damage shots to hits, not so great. So here we are with game number 2 on Lakeville. We are top tier again. Not too crazy matchmaking, but just tier 8s. There's at least no 9s or 10s. So it feels like the only real sensible place to go at the moment is going to be sniping off the middle road. The town's no place for a KANONENJAGDPANZER. And the valley is no place for anyone. And we start off by meeting this wonderful chap who decides it's going to be a great idea to come and park directly behind me and shoot over the top of me, which is very kind of him. So we decide to give him a little friendly nudge to tell him that he's a wanker and he shouldn't do that. And hopefully he'll jog on and go somewhere else. It looks like he's going to turn around and have a word back, but thankfully he gets distracted by the idea of actually shooting some of the enemies, so good on him for that. So trying to find a shot on the VK, can't quite find it. And we start looking for the blind shot. So we can see a lot of tracer fire coming from up on this ridge, or we did a minute ago, so we're just waiting to see where those are coming from, and we'll try and throw a blind shot in and hit one of those guys. Pretty common spot to people for to snipe from that ridge line just above where I was aiming there. Just a quick look to see if we can see the tiger, but he's taken down. So we move up a little bit. Now we've cleared that tiger, I'm not too worried about getting spotted. It doesn't look like they've got anyone right on the edge of the beach, which is all coming up the road, which is the only real worry for getting spotted. Ah, there we go, YAG 88. Damage the tracks, don't manage to track him though. A couple of guys spotted up here. Switch aim, goes under him, really unlucky. He's already dead. But the YAG 88 decides he's going to sit in a really silly place, so we managed to put one shot into him there. Fire again, another shot into him. And one more. Still there. Don't know what this guy's doing. Maybe he got tracked by someone else, or he's just crazy. And there we go. He seems to have finally got the memo and decided to move his tank out of the way. We will see that guy later, and well, let's just say he has a bit of luck. So just having a little look around, seeing what's going on, realised we haven't really got anyone in the valley, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. We've got a couple of TDs on the cap, and we've got enough people to swing round and dish out some punishment on anyone coming around the corner, and that's exactly what I decided to do. I feels like there's not really going to be, you can see how much our team have pushed down the bottom, there's not really going to be any shots of me shooting from the road anymore down towards there. So I feel like the only way I'm going to get some more damage done in this game, which has been fairly underwhelming so far, is to spin around here and shoot these guys. I come all the way back here because I want to put a little bit of distance between myself and these guys. Couldn't quite be bothered to go far enough back. That's probably going to give me great camo, but I wanted to get myself further enough back so I could at least be unspotted while I'm lining up my shots like this. But there we go, managed to drop a nice shot onto the back of the Carnarvon as he goes behind the hill. And decide to just shuffle forward a little bit more, realising I'm not really getting a lot done here. We got one shot off, but these guys have been a little bit more conservative than I thought, so I want to get a better angle around that corner. We'll move around to here. There's a nice bush as well we can use, and someone's outhouse that's kind of getting our way. There we go, there's IS-3. We've also got SU-152. He has a big dangerous gun, so we want to shoot him, or he at least can have a big dangerous gun. I'm not sure what gun he has on his vehicle. Go, nice arty hit on the IS-3. Whoa, trying to find that shot without getting spotted. There we go. Oh, but we get spotted. Line it up anyway. Damage the gun. Could help us out. Just trying to figure out the safest way to do this. It feels like whenever I go around here, he's going to spot me straight away, but I want to aim that shot and we've got to do the damage. Do we sit there and go for one more? He's not pointing his gun at me yet, so we're going to go for one more. He's still not looking. Now he's looking. Oh, no. Just back off. There we go. He shot the outhouse. Let's aim in another shot. So we get him out of the game. We get him. Nice. Without eating a shot either. Saved by the crapper. So then the IS-3, very low health. Let's see if we can find a shot on him. Nothing really on there. And he's going to get polished off by these guys charging around the corner. So that leaves us with 8 damage and ribbons. We've done okay so far. It's not been incredible, but, you know, pretty solid game. But there's still damage to be done. We've got 3 tanks left on the enemy team. One of them is that, there we go, that IS-3 that just got killed. One is that TD, which is the YAG 88 we were shooting earlier, who just killed someone. And I believe the other one is a Tiger, maybe a Tiger Hammer. Whoa there, easy now. Just seeing if there's a shot on. There is it's a tiny narrow shot, but I just can't find it again. It just seems to have disappeared, so fire one for luck anyway. And decide, well, that's fine, we can get closer. So it looks like he's holding off that heavy pretty well, but we can move around and flank this guy, so he's not going to be too much to worry about. A few tanks we've got to shuffle past. So it's one of the nice things, I guess, is that you can kind of do that light tank thing where at the end of the game you're quick enough to charge around and mop up hit points from the remaining enemies. So we move in here. We assume that heavy is probably basically up there. He is. He was either going to be at the base or around the corner in the valley. But we're on full hit points, so I'm just going to completely ignore him. Just want to get this guy out of the game. Aim in on the back. And how about that for a shot? Jesus Christ. Already half turned my tank back because I assumed it was going to hit. But there you go. So we don't kill the AG-88, but there is a nice juicy Tiger. And we are going to do the lovely, great fun endgame thing. Just sit here and shoot him till he's dead. Don't care about getting shot because he can't kill me. I got my damage output. So we'll just sit here and shoot each other until the end of the game. And it's probably a mutually beneficial arrangement, really. He's camped the base the whole game. Probably the only damage he's done for the entire game is relieve me of 900 hit points while I do that. And we managed to grab ourselves a few more damage ribbons in the process. So there we go, 134 grand on that one. There we go, times 1.25 ops. So again, almost 3k damage that time. Bit less damage than the last one, but we got a bit more silver thanks to the op. So there you go. There's a couple of bits of gameplay in the Cannon Panzer for you. You can make your own mind up. I certainly wouldn't say that bundle is worth buying at all. It's outrageously expensive. Unless you're like a crazed tank collector. If you really like collecting the really rare tanks before anyone else has them, and you've got some money, then sure, I suppose, why not? I can't see any other justification for buying it other than to produce video content, really. I mean, traditionally, Wargaming, when they've done these tanks before, they'll, another stage further down the line, they'll sell it on its own at a more reasonable price. Could be a while though, so you never know. They did it with the Hydrostat. The Hydrostat went on sale first time round. It was bundled with 10 million silver, and it cost like, I don't know, whatever that would cost you, 20 grand or something, 20,000 gold. So very expensive, and with a bundle of stuff that no one wanted. So that was a similar thing where, I don't know, you only bought it if you wanted the really rare tank. But then a while later they sold the Hydro. Well, very recently they sold the Hydro on its own, didn't they? Maybe once or twice again as well. Anyway, there you go. That's the Cannon Panzer. Hope you enjoyed it. 74 quid's worth of gold, badly spent, I'll say, but at least I'm enjoying the Tiger, eh? Nice one. Alright, see you later, guys.